Hi, everybody. It's Tuesday, the 17th of October, and I'd like to respond to something that's come up among many people whose opinions I value greatly, and that is that, I've been making sounds about the fact that, the Palestinians deserve a fair shake, and we're going to have to clean our respective houses out politically so that we can come to terms with the neighbors. And there's a little bit of uh, concern that that reconciliation is really some sort of capitulation. It rewards terrorism. You hear that a lot. It rewards the terrorists, and this assumes a certain right or wrong, good or evil um, approach to the sides, and I personally feel that has to go. So let's take a look before we get into this very, very difficult subject, although in some respects simple. Let's take a look at what the markets are doing. The all-share index is continuing to fall. Last time we looked, it was something like 4%. Now it's like 8%, 8.5%, even more. So that's got a long way to go. That short position is going to hold out. That means that the shares are selling off in Tel Aviv. Hardly surprising. Crude is staying steady. Again, Saudis are on our side. There's not much trading volume is falling off. So that means that there's less activity in it. And still, despite the fact that trading is falling off, prices are holding. So that's a positive sign. Lockheed Martin just continues its way up. I won't dwell on that. It's obvious. The commercial real estate market is also dropped another 2% or so, 1.5% since we last looked. So that's continuing to weaken. In Tel Aviv, hardly. That's the commercial property market, not residential. Gold has continued to go up, and it's gone up double where it was the last time we looked. It's almost 5%. That's a serious jump. That is a serious statement of market concern. The fear is right there in that number. And this, by the way, is not on lower volume. This is on higher volume. So that reinforces the trend versus here. If we go back to, what were we looking at? Here, now I'll show you. Actually, this is the best trend. Gold. This is the one where while the prices, this is of course the most significant of the charts. This is the dollar shekel rate. Again, as the dollar shekel rate goes up, it's now broken the important round barrier of 4. It costs more shekels as opposed to 3.9, 3.8 per the base currency. The base currency is always on the left, and the exponent is always 1. The exponent of the right currency is on the y vertical axis, and that's what fluctuates. But what I want to point out here, and this is a fairly common approach, where you've got rising prices on lower trading volume, that indicates that there's not a lot of sentiment behind this, and therefore, while it can be driven greatly by lesser numbers of traders, it's as likely to turn around because there's less volume when these traders come back. We're way below average trading volume here. So that's the market roundup. What I do want to say to you is this idea that, there's a good or right or wrong, good or evil. Both sides are perpetrators and victims. You've got to come to terms with that. The history of this conflict is close to 100 years old, if not long. Well, it's close to 100 years old from the first. What I data from the first uprising in 1929. The Palestinians have had a long and deep gripe here. And as a Jew, and I confess to this, you could always, there's this whole concept of the, there's two things I think that need to be dealt with. First of all, as I mentioned, going back to 1929, there is plenty of atrocity all around on both sides. This tit-for-tat stuff, the retaliation. Those of you who don't know the history even, but just watch the news for the last 20 years, know that. This attack is in retribution for that attack, it's endless. It's truly endless. This retribution and tit-for-tat stuff has to go. There's plenty to go around. Nobody cares anymore who's got the last in. It doesn't matter. And the other, no less, if not even more debilitating feature of this conflict, which I refer to as the Trump suffering people, what people wins the suffering championship. And again, the Jews comfort themselves by saying, well, Dheisheh, we do have a boot on their neck, but after all, the Dheisheh refugee camp outside of Bethlehem, it's not Dachau, and that's always some sort of vague, I wouldn't say comfort or justification, but it's a vague rationalization. It's a vague but understandable rationale. It doesn't make any. That doesn't speak to the Palestinians. They're suffering people. They don't have to. They don't have to really associate with our suffering. There's plenty of suffering to go around. We are both perpetrators and victims. And once we clean out the Hamas, we're also going to have to clean our own stables out. And this lack of leadership that you're probably aware that that Netanyahu's government has promulgated for 15 years or so, divide and conquer, do business with the Hamas, delegitimize the Palestinian Authority, claim that we have no one to talk to, continue stealing the land, and we'll let the Palestinians steal the aid money. And this arrangement is defunct. It's out. It's gone. It's bankrupt. And that's why I say trauma to triumph beyond the victim perpetration. I don't say it. I lifted that from the internet somewhere. I don't know where it's from. But the idea is that enough is enough. I don't really care that this last atrocity is indeed just barbaric. But these people are angry. And yes, we're going to have to get rid of the Hamas because they only care about anger and stuff. But there are people, and Hamas is not the Palestinian people. We've got to get rid of their animals. We've got to get rid of our idiots and thugs. And by the way, don't think that Jews haven't been burning Palestinians out of their homes in the recent times either. They have. And again, if you're going to start with the order of magnitude, they did 1 and we did 10. And this is for the birds. So yes, I think it's going to have to, come down to getting rid of the Hamas leadership, because they're not interested in any kind of settlement. The IDF says they have to clear out about 600,000 refugees. They're going to make about 600,000 refugees out of residents of the part of Gaza they plan to invade. And last I read, there's about 330,000 or so on the move, and it's a long schlep. It's 30 plus kilometers down to the Rafah crossing. But, better than getting blown to smithereens. The land forces are still massed, outside of Gaza. President's coming. President Biden is on his way. The leaders are coming from all over, although Zelensky was denied visitation rights. This is a standard thing to show solidarity, and yet we obviously are so in deep with the Russians that we can't even invite Zelensky, fellow Jew, to hold hands and show a little support. That's a weird thing, too, in my mind, but what are you going to do? Politics makes strange bedfellows. So we're ready to go in. We're going to go in, once I guess sometime we're around 600,000 of them have cleared out. We're going to level the playing field, as it were, and try to root out the enemy. So that's it for now, ladies and gentlemen. Stay informed, continue to discuss, and stay calm, and just this will pass. This will pass, and it'll pass for the better. That's it for now, ladies and gentlemen. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.